Okay, so I thought I'd have a look and see how far Lakka had come along, and Lakka is Retroarch for the Raspberry Pi 4. And if you go to Get Lakka and click on this, you can go to Linux and scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you've got Raspberry Pi 4, and then it will show you what version it is. Now, I've just clicked on download, and it is version 2.3.2. So it hasn't changed since I last did it, so quite a while now. So if we go to Lakka Nightly Builds, and I'll put a link in the description to this, you can see there's various different folders, and basically you're looking for the latest release for Raspberry Pi 4. Now these are obviously development builds, so you know there may be some things wrong, but also there may be some big improvements, so it's worth just playing around with as it's free to do. So I went to the latest folder, so what's that, 10th of the 4th 2020, so quite recently, but the only folder in here is GPI case ARM. So if I click on that, you can see 2.9 GPI case ARM. So the GPI case looks like that. So it's a Raspberry Pi, I guess it's a Raspberry Pi Zero, yeah, in like a Game Boy case. I haven't got one of those, so let's go back in and find a more recent one. And I've already done this, and the most recent one I could find was 13th of February. So let's click on that. There's a Raspberry Pi 4 one here. And then you can see that 2.9 is there, so quite a lot newer than the image I had. So image.gz is the one we usually click on. So let's click on that and allow. And once that's downloaded, we can write that to our SD card using either Raspberry Pi Imager or Balena Etcher. Okay, so let's open up Balena Etcher. It's already picked up my SD card, select image, Lakka 2.9, and flash. Okay, so once your SD card has been written, you need to take it out and put it back in again, and then it will show up on your desktop or whichever computer you have. Double click on it, and if you want to overclock, and you don't need this step, but it certainly helps on the more powerful game systems or the more modern game systems. If you go to config.txt, there's a few things I put in, and it's basically all of this I put in. This first one forces the resolution to be 1080, which on a 4K TV means that you get better performance. I tried to get it to stay at 720, but all the things I tried, as soon as it launched the emulators, it would change to whatever resolution the emulator was set to. So I also add this overclock line. 2147 is the fastest that the Pi can handle. You can't go any quicker than that, but you need adequate cooling, so do this at your own risk. And then you need to save that and eject your SD card and pop it in your Pi. Okay, so you also need your games to be on a USB stick. Now for Retroarch, it's not that fussy as to where the games go, you just have to tell it where they are in a directory. But I tend to use the same stick I use for RetroPie, and when you use RetroPie, it automatically sets up all the folders and things for you. So if you already have RetroPie and you already have a USB stick, just use that same USB stick and it will work fine. First of all, you create a folder called RetroPie-mount, and then when you put that into your Pi running RetroPie, not this version, not Lakka, it automatically puts these folders in. So it creates folders for ROMs and all the different game systems that are available, and it also creates configs and a BIOS folder. Now again, this isn't what Lakka or Retroarch needs, but it just comes in handy because it means that you can switch between both systems, between RetroPie and Retroarch. So in my ROMs, for instance, if I go to PlayStation Portable, so PSP, there we go, you can see that my ROMs are in there. And not everything is in the right format, so it's not going to necessarily show up, but we'll see which ones do show up from this list. So again, eject that and pop that in your Pi as well. So we've got USB stick and SD card. Okay, so this is how Lakka boots up, or Retroarch. If we go along to the right hand side, you can see where we've got scan directory. Ignore anything to the right of this plus symbol because that only happens after you've scanned this directory. So we press the B button on an Xbox 360 controller, go down to 32 gig, which is our USB stick, go down to RetroPie mount, find your ROMs folder, and then go scan this directory. Now I'm not going to click on this because I've already done it and it takes quite a while because there's several ROMs in here, but if I go back you can see that after you've scanned it all your systems come up. So we've got Atari Jaguar, DOSBox, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, GameCube, N64, Dreamcast, Master System, Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, Spectrum, PSP and PlayStation, and it basically shows the systems that you've got ROMs on there for. So there's a lot more that it can do, but this is just showing the ones that I've put ROMs in for. So let's start it up and let's go for Grand Theft Auto and then run. So again, I'm using a wired Xbox 360 controller which just popped up on the screen. It's all configured, I haven't had to do anything with the buttons. And you can play around with the settings on this if you want to get it running better. So if I press the home button and go down to load state and press the B button, that's loaded the game to where I got to. And you can see I'm turning the wheel. Let's just have a little drive. I found that this worked much better without the music. And oh, I thought I could go over that. And without the music, it also means you're not going to get a copyright strike. Oh, nearly ran into him. Can we go across here? But as you can see, PPSSPP is running very well in this version. Again, it's overclocked. But it's nice to see it running so smoothly at full screen. There are various different ways you can make the resolution better, but you may get a hit in performance. Let's go in here. Let's go up the stairs. Can't remember if I can get through the window. Oh, I missed it. Where did I go? So again, if you press this home button, that gives you the various settings for the current console you're playing on. So in this case, PlayStation Portable. And you can see if I want to save the state where I am, it will pick up from that game. It doesn't work in every console, but it works fine in PSP. But also, if I go down, options gives you various different things, which are going to change just for PSP. And it's going to mean that you can speed things up. So I've got auto frame skip on, and various different texture scaling levels and so on can be changed to improve the overall look, but sometimes that hits the performance. But just experiment with it and see how you get on. I haven't played around with this too much, but it seemed to be playing fine, and it looks all right to me. But PSP can look really good with some of these effects applied. So one of the things that definitely improved in this version, Jaguar used to be terrible on the Pi, and I've tried several different emulators and the performance was really, really bad. But actually on some of these games the performance is decent. Now you can't save the state on Jaguar, for some reason it just doesn't let you do it. Now Flashback works really well on this, and it does seem to be the right speed and everything. So you can see we can move around. What's run? That's run. So B's run. Up is jump. And if you want to do like a big jump, you press B and up. And he does like a long jump. So I've got a big jump here. So let's take a step forward, press B and up. And you can see, I could have kept pressing up and you would have got it. So down and A, B. Up and B. Can I get through there? No. Can I get up there? Yeah. Put my gun away. What I like about it, it's quite a relaxing game. You can, you know, there are different times you can just sort of fathom out what to do on the screen, where to go. I can't remember what I got to do with this guy. I think I've got to be quick, that's all. Does he know I'm there yet? He doesn't know I'm there yet. So if I jump past him, turn around. Anyways, you can see it's a bit of a puzzle game, but it is fun to play. Well, if I keep going... Oh, hold on. And I think you get unlimited buttons in there. Oh, you can do this as well. You can do that as well, which is quite a cool little approach. Oh, I see. So now I can go up. Get my gun out. Okay, well, we'll end it there, and what I'll do is I'll try and jump that. Oh, no, I won't. So we'll end it there, and so if we go back in, we can either do close content, which takes us back to the main screen, and then we can press the back button, and then we can go back through the different consoles. And the other one I wanted to show was Libero Grande 2 on the PlayStation. Now I can't remember if I had 1 or 2. I think I had Libero Grande 1, which came through as a promo disc when I worked in a Sony centre. And I really quite enjoyed it at the time. It was a different take on football games. And let's just load the state. So you can see you control one player. So here I've got a midfielder, defenders. I can even be the goalkeeper, but you stay as that player. And I really enjoyed this way of playing it. So I think I'm going to be, well, it's all in Japanese, so I don't know which one's which. I think I'm going to be, because that looks, well, yeah, that looks a bit more like me in hair colour. So let's go with that one. So hit select. Don't know what that says. So I've just quit out of Libero Grande because the performance wasn't so great. So what I'm going to do, because you might have noticed it flashed up that it didn't have a BIOS file. So we're going to scan the directory of BIOS, because I have put the PlayStation BIOS file in there, and you can see it's picked it up. So let's go back into PlayStation, back into Libero Grande. Oh, it still says it didn't find the BIOS file. Oh well, I put the FPS counter on there anyway. I need to play around with that and see if I can get that working better. There we go, and we'll skip past this bit. So England versus Brazil. Yeah, it is running a bit slow, but with the BIOS it will be fine. Mind you, this probably runs at 30, I would say. Yeah, it's running a bit slow. There's me going in for the tackle. And I can, fouled, look, see that in slow. I might have taken a bit of a dive. Whoa. So let's skip past that. So the performance of this would be fine with the PlayStation BIOS. So I can get them to pass it to me. Oh, but I didn't press it in time. So where are we? Went for a little bit of a tackle there. Yeah, I need to play this again just to get used to how it is, because I can't work out. The viewing angles are a bit strange. Here we go. So now I'm on the run. Oh. and you get the feeling that you ought to run around everywhere, but it's good to stay back because your defense will do a good job, he says. Yeah, there you go. So if I now press my what would be my square button, you can see he passes it to me, which is probably not wise from the distance I was at the halfway line, but you can use that. There we go. What's ordinary pass? So let's get somewhere near. There you go. So then I commanded that pass. God, I shouldn't have picked Brazil, should I? You get the idea. You are the main guy, whichever position you choose. I used to do midfielder because you get a lot more of the play. And I think it gives you like a rating of how well you performed within the match. Anyway, that's Libero Grande. One more game I wanted to show, which is on Dreamcast. And Dreamcast is working well. Redream's not on here, and I was doing some reading about Redream, and it looks like Redream is no longer open source. So you might not see it again in Retroarch, but obviously some people do custom builds, and it tends to come out in that. So Dynamite Cop, run. I've already got a load state there that I can put in, so I can go straight into character select. And this runs really well. I'm sure Dreamcast didn't run as well as this on the previous build. It's lovely and smooth, lovely and fast. Especially if you get the right buttons. Come on. What's kick? Oh, that's grab. Kick. Alright, triangle's kick, which is a bit weird. So as you can see, running really well, looking really decent. Is that just a can of drink? Just have a little drink. Oh, let's get the gun. I don't know why I'm laughing at. Oh, they're laughing at me. Here we go. Now we got a gun. Just in time for Turtle Guy. He's resilient. Oh, it's his shell, isn't it? There you go. So, really good performance. It's nice to see all these updates, but obviously keep an eye on the nightly builds and see how well it goes. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.